3, 2, 1. Boosh. Oh my God, that's cold. Wow. Welcome back to You Betcha Radio Podcast, the coldest podcast in all the Midwest, presented by FairwayMeatMarket.com. I'm Miles, the You Betcha guy, here with Ryan, the T-shirt guy. We have a Michael Ray-filled episode for you.
He's back.
Front to back.
I will just go out there and say it. We had a segment planned with Michael. And it went way longer because we were vibing and having a great time. Good conversation, so we just let it roll.
Good guy.
And that's what the episode is today.
Did you clarify that Michael Ray was here in the flesh?
Oh yeah, in the flesh. It's been a long time coming since I think about a year ago too, which is crazy. Is we were like, hey, we love country music. We want to be in the country community. Let's start seeing if we can get some people on the podcast. And the fact that we had a artist like Michael Ray come into the office next week is really cool, but also just goes to show all the listeners. Yeah. You guys, when you watch the videos, you like, you comment and do all that stuff, just helps us keep doing what we're doing and just helps us keep building the media company that we are. Can't believe it.
We did it.
We did it. We're getting artists to come to Fargo, North Dakota.
Can I get a little slap and tickle, like a little tease here?
Oh my God.
Hey, we got multiple artists coming.
Yes, we do. So in the next few weeks, we got some more artists in Fargo, in the studio, in the flesh, hanging out, which was pretty cool. But before we get into that, we got to talk to you guys about FairwayMeatMarket.com, baby. It's all about the meat. Meat. Heartland bundle. We're in the Heartland. We get people to come from Nashville to the Heartland now. We can say that. They need to know what the meat's all about. And if you want to know what the meat's all about, you go to FairwayMeatMarket.com, pick up the Heartland package. They got ribeye steaks, pork chops, side dish. We're talking 6 ribeye steaks. Yeah. We're talking 8 pork chops. You can feed your family for like 3 days. Army. You could feed a small army. Oh yeah. Probably feed, the merch guys for like 1 meal. Yeah. And that's it.
Yeah. But appetizer.
For how much food they eat. But if you use promo code YouBetcha, YOUBETCHA, all one word, you get $60 off the Heartland package. And free shipping. People are sleeping on the free shipping.
Big time.
That's got to be upwards to $20 to $30 value, depending on.
Well, I mean, think about how heavy these steaks and pork chops are.
Yeah. Those are fat stacks of steak, So you got to go to FairwayMeatMarket.com. Grilling season is only here for a few more months.
Yep.
Well, probably 3 more months. You got to juice it for all it is.
Hey.
And speaking of juice, every single slab of meat from FairwayMeatMarket.com is juicy. It's delicious. Just sizzles on that grill.
Yum.
Melts in your mouth and leaves your belly happy as can be. Head to FairwayMeatMarket.com. Pick up all the meats.
It's all about them.
Guys, before we do the Michael Ray interview, we just got to say that we might have been a little bit too much of degenerates behind the scenes of Michael Ray's concert. So we apologize to any of the
absolutely no one.
Apologize to any of the staff or security guards for kind of just getting too drunk and wandering. I feel like we were wanderers.
We weren't like
you weren't causing trouble.
We weren't trying to disrupt anything, but there was so much room for activities backstage that it just felt like we just had a blank slate to walk around on. So I apologize.
We were like
inconveniences for that, but
we were like goats without a fence.
Yeah,
we weren't looking for trouble, but we just kind of were wandering around.
Yeah,
honestly, just call us Wanderlust.
Yeah,
at that concert.
Put it in our bios.
It also didn't help that Michael was feeding us whiskey.
Front to back, from the beginning to the end of that concert, there was not a single time there wasn't Jack Daniels shoved in our faces.
Was it raining?
Yeah, I was looking for rain, but there was just whiskey that night. Yeah,
I probably could have mixed in a rain.
I could have used some rain as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was sorry about that, but you know what? We live and we learn.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're degenerate. Sometimes you're professional. Sometimes you're a degenerate professional.
Professional degenerate.
Or professional degenerate.
Yeah.
And
That's Jake.
I'll let the audience decide what everyone is here.
It's
at
just the
Betcha.
degenerate.
Yeah, Jake.
So hopefully he still wants to come to the Fargo
I hope so.
after our degenerate wandering around backstage. But you know, whatever.
Whatever.
I think the problem too is we always had a camera, so I don't think anyone questions shit as long as
Yeah.
they see there's a camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, we figured that out pretty quick. As long as you got a couple cameras, they're gonna be like, oh, they're supposed to be here.
Yeah.
So future reference for anyone that wants
Nice.
to try them. Nope, we're not degenerates. We are not degenerates anymore. Well, we are degenerates but professional.
Correct.
All right, guys, this is
Great time, though.
This is Michael Ray live in the studio. All right, guys, we would love to welcome on to the podcast in the studio. I want to say you are the first guest we've had in the studio. So
No way.
Yes.
All right, well, I'll drink that.
Yeah, I'll drink to
Cheers.
that, guys. We got Michael Ray. Cheers, Michael,
buddy.
for being the first guy in here. We've only been here for like 4 months or something like that, and it finally took for it to warm up here in Fargo. A lot of people, it's tough to get people here in the winter. Yeah, we're really excited to have you, man.
Dude, thanks for having me. Y'all's facility is badass, man. This is sick.
I appreciate it. That's kind of like what we were going for is like, what they see on the internet and then they come to the office. I want them to be like, okay, these guys maybe know what they're talking about, even though they sound like idiots on the line.
Yeah.
Y'all have two shipping containers that built the best badass bar I've seen downstairs. So
Yeah, we'll have to go down there after this and drink some beer and have some whiskey.
I'm down.
Big whiskey guy.
Same.
You're doing a show today.
I am. Yeah.
Here in Fargo. How many times have you been to Fargo? Is this your first time?
We've been here a few times. I think this is my second time playing this fair. I think I played it a long time ago.
I think I went to that in like college. Was that like
I'm better now, I promise.
okay?
you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I'll probably go to this one then.
So is Tyler.
You haven't scalped your tickets yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. We got to remember to do that.
I had a whole drawer of fake wristbands, so I just go to events.
Well,
see
I'm
what
the special
colored-
guest, so it doesn't reflect on me. It's Chris that's going to
This is supposed to be a surprise, I thought.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm just happy that I moved myself out of the and more category on festivals. That's the goal.
Your name is really.
I'm real
tiny
small,
on
but
the very bottom.
I moved out of the and more category.
Yes, you went from font size 6 to font size 9.
Yeah, and that's a big deal in our world.
Yeah.
You measure success by fonts.
Yeah, yeah, you get yourself into that majority of
Yes.
the banner.
Hey, big news, man. We're up to size 10 font on the poster.
Bro, you're gonna have to change your friend group. We're about to hit 20.
Yeah. So again, thanks for coming in to the studio. But we had you on the podcast before, so this is you're now a recurring guest here.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool. You kind of when you started your career, you were on a reality show.
Mhm.
Reality show is a loose term, right? It's kind of like
Yeah.
all encompassing. Basically, if you're on TV,
And it's not scripted.
yeah,
Yeah.
scripted.
Right.
Yeah, they got a weird way of working around that.
What was the? It was the net.
It was called The Next Fame is at Your Doorstep.
Yeah,
That's a long name.
it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they just shortened it to the next.
Oh.
And then,
So there
not
was
to be confused with the MTV show called Next.
Right.
Where they have people come off the bus.
Yeah, so it was weird when I got there and I was like,
Is that what
where's
you
the ladies? No,
Is
I'm
that
just
what you
kidding.
signed up for?
I was like, all right, yeah, I'll do this.
Yeah, I had to fire my booking agent
Yeah, I
at
was
the
like, turns out
time.
it's a singing competition. Yeah.
So then I had to learn to sing.
Yes, yes. So anyway, that's how I started learning how to sing.
I thought I was going to find love of my life on the show Next on MTV.
Yeah, like, the good old fashioned American love story,
Yeah.
So
They
she
screwed
came
me
off
out
that
of it.
bus and I almost said Next.
Yeah.
There was something about
There's
her. I
something on my
held
old
on.
ticker that said, give her a chance.
Yeah. Person before that, though, didn't even get one step off the bus. You said Next.
Out. Yeah.
That was always the best.
That was one of the most ridiculous shows on television of all time.
Some of those old reality shows, you're just like, I think we watched them because they were so like like a train wreck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you
yeah.
almost can't believe you're watching something.
Well, it was like for me as a 12-year-old watching MTV when they do Room Raiders.
Yes.
And then like the guy would be like, all right, I'm going for the underwear drawer. And like you as a 12-year-old, like, what? He's doing what? This is crazy television.
I forgot about
He like brings out the tongs.
so dumb.
He's like
Girls
covering,
watching it back like, it ain't that bad, man.
he's like covering his nose. That was another
that's
ridiculous.
fantastic. Honestly, that was probably pretty smart because everybody cleans up way too much when they're trying to impress it for the wild. You know what I mean?
Just ambush him.
Yeah, just super clean. Clorox burning the nostrils. You know, you don't know if they're clean or they're running meth. You know, but the girl's like, he's so clean. 8 months later, got him.
Oh yeah,
Boxers.
we all been there.
Yeah.
So you were on the show Next on MTV. Reality show, so you know a thing or two about kind of. I mean, you know more than us about how it works. But today we're going to talk about the top 3. People kind of rag on reality TV, but we're going to talk about the 3 best things about reality TV. Tyler and I actually probably watch more reality TV than we let on to.
Oh yeah, we're very closeted about how much reality TV we actually watch.
Oh yeah,
Closet reality. Love.
We dissect it too when we come back to the office.
What are you watching? Any shows? Reality shows?
Man, I really don't watch too much of them. Trying to. I mean,
what was the last one? Maybe you watched.
Oh,
Tiger King.
Tiger King.
Tiger King.
Yeah, Tiger King for sure. Yeah, and I watched it twice. Yeah,
No, was it better the second season, right?
it's fantastic.
Yeah.
The second season, you got to watch it the second time because when you first watch it, you're just so like in awe that this is real. You know, and of course, I'm from Florida, and I'm like, damn it, guys, stop being from Florida.
Bad
like,
rap.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're giving us a bad rap here.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say anything, but you kind of fit the Florida stereotype here.
Well, you know, it's a big stereotype to feel. There's a lot of I tell people all the time, they're like, man, what's going on down there? I'm like, I don't know, but we've been keeping the world entertained for years.
True. What else will we talk about?
What else would y'all be talking about? We gave y'all Tiger King during quarantine.
That's true. That was quarantine season 1.
Yeah.
Very,
But when
very
you watch
early.
it again, you realize some shit. You know,
You're like, oh yeah, maybe Florida's got some issues that they need to work out.
maybe we need maybe Florida just sees a counselor.
Yeah. Well, I think you guys are too far
gone.
for that. I think we need to put you full blown in a facility.
Straight jacket.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do the top 3 best things. I'll start it off.
Yeah, I want to ask a little bit about this show.
Yeah.
So obviously, I looked it up. The commercials for it were ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
They were wild. What was the shtick? Like, was John Rich just at your house?
Okay, so here's the full honesty of it. So I was playing I'd already been playing 4 nights a week, 3 nights a week since I was like 16, 17 years old in my hometown. And I would just moved to Nashville, living in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath with like 5 of my band members, driving my tour van for a vehicle, the whole deal. And my manager calls me. We're in South Carolina, and our tour van, we got it stuck in the parking garage at this. And so one of my buddies who's driving is just like, you know, and the guy behind us is pissed and honking his horn. My manager's blowing me up. So finally, I'm like, hey man, we're stuck. He goes, real quick. I was like, man, I don't think I got real quick. Like, we're about to fight the guy in the Chevy.
We now have a convertible van.
Yeah. See if you can get us another deal. So he tells me about the show. And at first I was like, I was raised around like more old school artists and you know how they did it, you know, Waylon and Loretta Lynn and all them. It was like go bar to bar, build a fan base, do the thing. And at the time there wasn't a big like music presence on Facebook or YouTube yet or any of the, you know, social platforms. So he was like, man, there's this reality show that they want to do, and they're going to take 6 of the biggest fish in their pond, pretty much, right? Biggest people in that state. Like if people are going to ask about pop, country, whatever. Like if you're in, you know, Fargo, North Dakota, what are you going to say? You know, and so, or who are you going to say? So it was supposed to be all these people that were doing what I was doing, and then they go state to state, right? And then whoever wins the state, 6 of you go to LA. Well, instead of judges, you had mentors. It was John Rich, Gloria Estefan, Joe Jonas, and Nelly. And so he calls me and I'm like, all right, yeah, well, let me think about it. Because at first I was like, man, do I want to be the dude? Like, I don't know how big this show could be. It was the first season, you know, like, is this going to be the next American Idol? Am I going to get under that umbrella?
Yep.
You know, I've been working my ass off. Not that doesn't mean anything, but just, I don't know. At the time, it was this weird stigma with reality winners, right?
Yep.
And so he's like, man, worst case scenario, you're still in front of a couple million people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't have, and by the way, you're in a van living with 5 dudes in a 2-bedroom
Living in a van
apartment
down by the river.
Yeah, and he's like, maybe you take the show. So I was like, all right, so we negotiate with him, whatever. We end up doing it.
No, you're living in a convertible van in a parking garage
Stuck
because
in
you
a
couldn't get it out of there.
Yeah. We just we stayed there. I put in my zip code.
It's still there?
Yeah, my drummer met a nice lady. He married, have 2 kids.
The lady
They're in
was,
parking lot
the lady
3C.
was taking payments for in the little booth.
Yeah, it's like a museum now when you drive through. So we agreed to do it. They had Orlando was the first one. I ended up winning Orlando, and John like literally pulled a tour bus in my front yard in my dad's house, and then I took him around. It was like 3 days. I was supposed to be like hanging with him, like showing him. So I took him bow fishing and all this stuff. And
was your dad like going out to the tour bus and like checking the PSI on the tires? And, like,
you ain't leaving without making sure this oil is changed.
He gets you some windshield wiper fluid, just leaves it on
why
the
don't you
hood
pop
for
the hood up? Let me take a look.
He's my only namesake, so can't have you go killing him. So I ended up going on the show, and I started realizing once I watched all the other episodes, I was like, man, I'm the poorest person on this entire show. Like they started showing people's houses, and I was like, I was like, dear God, man. And everybody, once I met everybody, they're like, hey man, so you play shows, what's it like? And I was like, what do you mean, what's it like? It was like people from like their church groups, people that were doing YouTube videos, but YouTube videos were, and I'm like, oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing that, and instead of getting voted off, you got locked in to the finale. So people would vote, and I did the first live, got locked into the finale, so I didn't play the second or third show, and then I played the very last show.
Yep.
And then we ended up winning.
Nice.
And partied hard with John and Nelly and everybody afterwards, and then ended up on a flight back to Nashville not knowing anything that was going on. And I was just like, okay, well, this is weird. Like, I just won a national TV show, and I'm just sitting here. Me and John Rich were sitting together drinking Crown on the way back, from LA. And I'm like, well, what do we do now? And so ended up working out in my favor. The show never got picked up again. I did a deal outside of the show with Warner Music Nashville and signed a record deal with them.
Yeah, I was wondering how that goes. Those shows that like you get a record deal at the end, you don't have to take it.
Well, so you do if you win. That's why some people tell you, be like, hey, try to get top 5 and then get out. Because you're not
the Chris Daughtry approach.
Yeah. I hit that Daughtry. Yeah, that too good for TV.
Dude, the best thing about Chris Daughtry is when he's shaving like flames into his beard and stuff.
Yeah. He gave me false hope.
Should I try doing that with my beard?
Chris can't grow a beard like you, though.
Oh,
That's some
you heard it here. Is that why you had to do it? Is a little patchy, so he just
it's a little patchy, so he just it was like kind of having like decent grass in areas. You just make sure you water that one a lot, and people will overlook.
Well, that's what the internet is all about, right? So we're gonna have a patch of grass out front. And we'll take a photo where that grass is, and don't do a wide angle.
Right, just zoom in on that.
There,
focus on the good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what the internet's all
about. That's what it is, man. What a time to live. But yeah, that was it, man. It was weird. It was a crazy experience, and came out of nowhere, and it was fun to do, but it was, there definitely is some scripted stuff in reality. They definitely, kind of set you up to say certain things or whatever. But
yeah, because I was talking to a guy who was on the Bachelor, and he was saying that they don't tell you what to say, but they're like brain ninjas in the fact that they they don't brainwash you, but they basically like have a technique to basically get you to say what they want you to say.
They're super, super good interviewers, and they ask questions where there's really only one answer for it. Yeah. And they present it to where you're gonna give them the line they want based on how they ask. They
also said that the producers, when they're not on camera, talk to these people, and they like keep beating stuff into their head to like basically train them to talk the way they want them to, and that's how it ends up happening.
Aren't they like hammered drunk the whole time too? They just keep them fueled with alcohol?
Well, they do sleep deprivation too. So like some of the episodes you see are happening at like 4 a.m.
Shit.
So like basically that's another way to get people to act ridiculous and
and they're all hungover, probably still drunk.
When I'm hungover and I haven't had much sleep,
I'm gonna say
get a
some
little
stupid
cranky
shit.
and say some stupid shit.
Well, I also feel like not so much on like the bachelorettes, but the bachelors, every one of them look alike. Like if you're slender 6'3" and look like you either like sell insurance or real estate or a dentist,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
we got a show for you.
Former D2 athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they had to turn me down for The Bachelor. I didn't. Fit
They'd have
the
a
mold.
season finale, bro. They'd have a season finale. They couldn't get your tall ass out of here. No more room for you.
Yeah. All right, let's do it. So I think that one of my favorite things about reality shows is that they take the smallest thing and make it the biggest deal ever. You know, like it goes from like the way that Tyler's looking at me right now, I don't like it. And then all of a sudden they make an entire episode off of the way he's looking at me right now.
Oh yeah.
And people are crying. People are fighting. Chest bumping matches are always good.
Yep.
You know, is there a lot of that in the show Survivor, or is it more scheming?
There's a ton of scheming, but it's one of my points. But there's always like one person who is the absolute villain who acts like they're scheming. They hide their craziness by saying it's scheming.
Yeah.
But they'll get into chest bumping matches or say some ridiculous shit. And it's the same thing. They're not sleeping. They're not eating. So they just lose their minds out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's all reality shows. They're not sleeping, they're not eating, they're just going insane.
Which isn't reality at all, because you have to sleep and eat.
It's unrealistic.
Yeah, this is unreality.
Yeah. No matter how this goes down, I'm gonna go take a nap, I think. I'm
yeah.
getting tired.
I'm gonna wake you up in the middle of it.
Yeah. What do you got? What do you like about what's on your top 3?
All right, my top 3, just because of knowing, like, being on one, there is a massive audience reach. And there is a massive, like, people truly, like, when we're talking about The Bachelor, this whole, like, Bachelor Nation thing is some real shit.
Oh, yeah.
These people literally will die for these people. Keep in mind, zero talent. And they were on a dating show, dating 20-something people at the same time, wondering why it's not working out, right? But
No, it should work out. The system, you got to believe in the system.
I do have one suggestion to wherever, I don't even know what facility The Bachelor's on.
Okay, so you're talking directly to ABC now.
ABC. I don't want to see what they can do with your credit card. Give me some real shit. Give me 8 months after The Bachelor, when they got to figure out some bills. You know what I mean? He can't afford, oh boy, on a dentist budget ain't taking her on a private yacht to Italy. You know what I mean? Like, if he's taking her to Paris, it's Paris, Tennessee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the shit I want to see.
Well, there was kind of a show like that where they all had to have jobs while they were in the house. Do you remember? Is that the real world? Do they all have jobs?
They did that in Jersey Shore.
In Jersey Shore.
They all had to go work at the hat shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Real World was like the first, like,
Yeah.
cult following of that.
Yeah.
So I will say, like, the good thing is if you are on one and you do have a marketing brain or you do have talent, you can
Well, then,
put that into
what do you
something
think about the guys who are just going on there to try and get their music career?
It's the
going?
stupidest idea you could possibly do. It's like, why?
I feel like no one's taking you serious if you're doing that.
Absolutely not. Not at all. Because they're, you know, first off, okay. I've only seen like a couple, like, when I don't know, it's weird for me to see 20-something dudes crying over, you know what I mean? Like this one girl.
Well, they're tired.
They're cranky and they're hungry.
All right, they're mad. All right, maybe I would cry too. But I don't know. I was just like, I don't have the energy. You know what I mean? I'd just be like, go get her. I'll go.
You can't be on the show. You're too logistical. Like you're making too much sense.
Exactly.
You would get
Never
cut
on.
from the cast so fast
100%.
right now.
You know what I do love is there's always the crazy person though in the first episode where you're like, she'll be in the end.
Yeah.
You're like, you sure?
Yep.
Yes,
They
because that's
have
why
to keep
everybody's
them around.
watching.
They
Yeah.
have to keep
She's
them
a girl that's like, you know, just nuts all the time, hammered drunk. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's a good idea for people trying to promote their music to go on The Bachelor.
I think when they play like songs and stuff on The Bachelor, it kind of feels like we all tried to be in like freshman year of high school. You get a guitar and you learn like one song and you sing it to your like significant other, and it's just you probably weren't in this boat, but you're just a terrible singer. You constantly have to like, you can't get the chords right, so then you're like constantly, oh, hold on, let me try again, and then you go again. Like that's what it feels like when they're like playing them a song on their dates and stuff. To me, it's just like cringing because I'm like, oh, I've been in this scenario.
Or they write a poem.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah.
And it's probably fine fine to do that, but it's like you're broadcasting this to the entire world.
Yeah.
So
And like,
maybe
obviously, these guys do not have the same friends I do.
yes,
Because I would never live that shit down, ever. They would put that in my eulogy. Like they would.
Hey, I think that's why they all hang out with each other after the fact, is because they're like lost all their friends. They're like, I can't be
I
associated
can't do that,
with
man.
you anymore.
I can't do it. But it is funny, like after you meet some of those guys, like afterwards, and you realize like it is true, like the way that like they interview them or the way they say things. The guy's like, dude, that's not at all how it went down. You know, like that's not. I didn't say it like that, but they maneuver words, like you said, they're brain wizards, man. Before you know it, you're like admitting shit you didn't even do.
Well, I was on Blake's podcast, the one where they just talk about The Bachelor. He was on The Bachelor or whatever.
Yeah, Behind the Rose.
Yeah. I was on there, and basically we were talking like they should work for the CIA. The amount of brainwashing and things they can get people to say.
Absolutely.
It's like they should be interrogators for the
prosecutors.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, they would make you just go, screw it. I did it. Yeah, I did it. Whatever. Yeah, whatever will shut you up.
I just want to eat and sleep.
I just want to go to bed. Whatever it takes. That is true. Blake's great, man. He's one of my good buddies.
Did you unplug your mic?
It came unplugged.
The Bachelor gets him excited.
It does.
It gets him unplugged.
That's our guilty pleasure. It's just like a weird science experiment to watch it every season.
Yeah.
My number 3 is the host. The host of every reality show is either absolutely ridiculous or super good at their job, and they're always fun to watch. Like Nick Cannon when he was doing America's Got Talent. Ridiculous human being when he's
Terry
doing
Crews. How he's able to keep his shirt on during that show
Unbelievable.
blows my mind.
gotta be
I
in
feel
the
like
contract.
he's a guy. Yeah, I feel like he's a guy that at any moment he could be ripping his shirt off.
Yeah. If I looked like him at 50 something,
Yeah,
I wouldn't ever wear a shirt.
Right.
because was he the original guy in the Old Spice commercials, or am I thinking of another guy?
That was Terry Crews. I don't
He
know.
started there. He doesn't do it
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd do the titty
little-
dance,
the little titty dance.
peck dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little peck two-step.
One thing I like about reality shows is the person who does something, then like when they're doing the one-on-one interview, they're like, yeah, for this, I don't care about any of that, whatever. And then some other person on the show actually calls them out, and then they have to like try and think of another lie to get out of it. And their wheels are spinning and they're stammering and all that. Like that just feels so good, because we've all been in a scenario in real life where you've called someone out and they start doing that.
Oh,
and you're
yeah.
like I gotcha.
Yeah.
Like you're dead in the water. You know, how are you going to come out of this? Then they usually just end it by like storming out.
Yeah.
You know, something like that. I love that. I love the like cringe and like making my whole body tense watching him try
Like
to
you
figure
feel
it
dirty
out.
watching this.
Yeah. Like, oh my God.
I like when they talk a big game in the interview, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fuck this guy up.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I'm not
He's
taking
done.
his shit anymore. And then the guy says, like, oh yeah, what's up, bro? Like they're super chill about
They
it.
stare
They're
at each
very
other.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As they're walking on.
So I want to know when they do the interviews, because like sometimes they're like, you can tell that like they say something about the scenario even though they already went through it. They're like doing it after the fact. So like they like tell them to like, all right, answer this question like you didn't know what was going to happen. Like how do they do that?
They just ask him to replay it. Like, hey, so walk me through this event. Like explain it to me like you're a narrator. Yeah.
I think the little private camera room for Jersey Shore was brilliant.
Yes.
Because it was kind of like a counselor, but they're hammered drunk, you know, and they're like, oh, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, you know, and it was that moment. That kind of echoes one of my favorite things is it makes your family and life problems not seem that bad. And I appreciate that with reality television. I come from a divorced home, you know, so I appreciate that. Like I watch some of these shows, I'm like, I'm not that bad. You know, like, we can get through it.
Yeah, shit sucks, but not that
I'm not
bad.
that guy. Yeah.
That was like the one chick on the one Bachelor season that just kept calling herself like she was the queen, and it was like,
Oh, train wreck. Absolute train wreck. Victoria.
yeah, that was
Queen
a mess.
Victoria. Oh,
Oh,
she was something.
yeah.
One of those deals.
One of mine I wrote down is pretending like I know better. Like than the people on the show, especially Survivor. Like, oh, this is what I would do here. They're doing it all wrong. I would be so much better at this than you.
Why don't you just do this? Just do it.
Yeah.
You'll win.
And I'm watching seasons from 2004.
Is it still going on? Are there still
Yeah,
survivors?
there's 40 seasons and the 41st was just announced. So
I feel like you've been watching game tape for years. You need to go on this.
I mean, I feel like I could.
Did you say
but-
you applied once?
No, I was gonna. There's a bit I was gonna ask you to film my application for Survivor.
That's how you actually get in.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. We should get you on Survivor. You've been seeing behind the scenes real for.
He's got a job he needs to do here.
and a family to take care
I'm not paying him to be on the
Don't bring your
Survivor.
family into this, all right?
I'm doing it for them.
I'm not paying you to be on Survivor.
Imagine
Well,
though,
after
you
Survivor,
imagine
you never
you
have to pay
bet
me
you a
again.
tattoo on his chest, because he can't get his shirt out there.
Yes.
They're just like
Branding opportunity.
branding
Maybe
opportunity. That's what I'm thinking of.
I could have our merch link. I'd have oyabetcha.com/collections/products.
You could have like a QR code that people could screen on if they pause it on the TV on his back.
Now let's get you on Naked and Afraid. They save a bunch of money on editing time because then the blurred out section would just be like,
he's got jokes.
That's incredible.
that
I just get a
work?
pixelated tattoo and then they don't have to edit anything.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh yeah. So we getting you on a reality show then?
Yeah, I'll do some research on the
So
best.
you talk to John and see if we can get the reboot of the show you were on.
Yeah.
But then maybe see if we can get it to be a longer title. I think that would play well. What was it again?
The next fame is at your doorstep, Fargo, North Dakota. You betcha, USA.
Yes. Let's do that. There we go.
Yeah. Again.
Season 2.
Season 2.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any crazier.
Hey, guess who's back? Eminem pops up.
Yeah.
I also love the fact that it's like mind numbing. Like you can literally sit and watch. I mean, it's like Tiger King. You sit and watch episode after episode and realize that you haven't thought of anything
Yes.
in hours.
Yeah, because like I do like shows where I gotta like think like that's what I liked about Game of Thrones and stuff like that. But sometimes it does feel good. That's like why I like The Office, even though it's not a reality show. It kind of feels a little bit like a reality show.
It's a spoof on reality
Yeah.
shows.
So no, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, and like, yeah, you just don't. It's good sometimes not to have to think about anything. You
Yeah.
know, that's why Tom and Jerry's been around for 80 years.
They're back.
That's true.
There's new Tom and Jerry.
They're back.
Yeah, it's a new reanimated Tom and Jerry. It's kids are watching it again.
Gotta get your kid watching Tom and Jerry, Tyler.
You brought him up, not me this time.
Old school Looney Tunes.
Tyler always tries to work his kid into the podcast and talk about him, like show that he's like a good dad and stuff like that. It's
Hey,
the
I'm there
worst.
for 'em.
It's the worst.
They say it's mostly to brag that I've confirmed had sex at least
Yeah.
once.
At least one.
He
We
has
have
a
one
confirmed-
confirmed seed planting.
Yes.
Guys, before we finish the segment with Michael Ray, we got to talk to you about Holiday gas stations. We love Holiday gas stations. We love the hot coffee. We love the energy drinks. We love all the snacks, the bottled water. Talking whiskey and rain. Got to make sure you mix in a few rain.
You gotta hydrate.
You got to hydrate. Hydration is key.
Yes.
And you can find all that at Holiday gas stations. Plus, you can get a car wash. You can get some gasoline, all sorts of stuff. And so if you're headed to a concert, before you go to the concert, stop at a Holiday gas station.
Get some mixies.
Get something to mix when you get there.
Yep.
Get some hydration so you don't completely die of heat stroke out there in the summer heat. Promoting good, healthy, non-degenerate behaviors at concerts.
Nice.
Find all of that stuff at Holiday gas stations. We love it. They love you. And you plus to mix in an energy drink to make sure that you're
Always
ready to
5
go.
hour energy.
They honestly, if we're gonna boil it down to it, Holiday, we love you for your caffeinated beverages.
Get an energy drink with lots of B12s for the next day.
Yes. All right. Go to Holiday. Now back to the interview. Maybe we should do a You Betcha reality show. What do you think of You Betcha reality show would be?
What's our shtick? Is it a competition? Is it?
What if y'all did like old school Orange County Chopper vibe, but with merchandise?
Just screaming.
Where you two are just like, will you throw a window, chair to that window?
We had a 3-episode spoof show called The Print Shop, where it was kind of like that, to be honest. But it was all scripted.
Yeah.
It was like I burnt my hand on the heat press, and it was like this whole thing. And I was like sweating.
You just
and-
lost it.
Yeah, it was actually.
We did 3 episodes, and by episode 3, it was ridiculous. He was hoarding koozies and using them as mittens.
Yeah, I was eating ramen noodles out of a koozie. I wonder what would happen if we reshared those now, because that was like a year and a half ago. That'd be kind of funny.
Y'all might be onto something.
Yeah, maybe the Print Shop. Bring Print Shop back.
Yeah.
I mean, am I gonna have to shoot it or am I?
Well,
a
it is the
character?
thing is now the people that we hired in the print area, they are kind of like people you would put on reality shows.
That's true.
Jade literally after a weekend will show up and we don't know what color his hair is going to be. He like
Yeah,
gets
see,
drunk.
that guy needs to be a character.
Yeah.
He gets drunk and he's got a friend who's a hairstylist, and so they go to the salon and they
Shit can.
they do shit to his hair.
Does he wake up in the morning? He's like, damn it, I got to stop drinking brown liquor.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Every time.
He started with the frosted tips. Actually, he showed up one
Oh,
day,
bring back them
and
old
then
Justin
now
T.
he's just now he's just full blown Justin Bieber, all blonde look going on. So
Yeah, said he looks like an extra in a Nazi movie.
we don't have any Nazis working here, guys.
It's
Don't
in the
worry
movies,
about
an
it.
actor.
In the
He's
movies.
an actor.
In the movies.
Tyler, we gotta
In the
clear
movies.
that up.
Yep.
Jeez.
Yeah, not here.
What kind of world are we living in where I'm looking like the most PC guy sitting here?
What happened to us?
What happened to
We've
us?
changed.
It's I mean, honestly, you became such a business.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
you're a leader.
Yeah. I'm gonna start wearing a suit to work.
you should always
I
wear
showed up in a
tuxedo T-shirt just constantly.
If I showed up in a suit here, they all would be like, dude, like just take it off. It's like making me uncomfortable.
What are you doing? Yeah, get
what-
out of here.
What are you trying to prove?
You should have just a You Betcha suit. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
You have Bush Light make you a You Betcha suit.
Yes. With the, like YBs all over it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like that. I also maybe need to start a board of directors. Just have me be the entire board. of directors.
Yes. You have meetings on your own.
Yeah, just like set up chairs all around and
Yeah.
then just switch spots.
Yeah.
Put
And then
yourself
come
on-
out of there like, all right, guys, the board decided.
Board decided.
Tyler, you're not going on a reality show.
We need you here.
Yeah. Honestly, if Tyler goes on a reality show, I'm gonna have to do so much more work, and that's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how much less work you'd have to do though, more. I'd be bringing in so much business after winning Survivor
Oh my
so
God.
handily.
That's the attitude you need, right?
Yep.
That
There's
is the
no
attitude
way
of a
you would
winner.
win.
I would.
What are you gonna do when you run out
I've
of
watched
contacts?
every single episode.
What are you gonna do when you run out of contacts?
They let you bring as many as you want. I checked.
Really?
Yep.
Have you seen that? Where do you put them?
The producers hold on to them for you. I'm dead serious.
That's incredible. Have you seen that episode of Family Guy when the Survivor lady falls through the tree and it knocks over and she falls into the Price is Right set? And the guy's like trying, he's willing the That's good.
You won a Survivor contestant.
Chase Rice was on
Yeah.
Survivor.
He was?
I think he made second place too, or third place. or
Really?
something. Yeah. So that's a guy you could talk. This little in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was also on The Bachelor when they took his ex-girlfriend to his date.
Oh
Remember
yeah.
that? He was
yeah,
singing for
yeah.
a date and it was
They
his
did him
ex-girl-
dirty. What did
Dude,
they?
that's why you can't trust. Man,
Dude,
in
they-
reality, here's the deal. It's drama filled, right? People just want to see, like you were saying, you just want to see that cringe moment, right?
Yep.
Well, I don't think they told Chase,
I don't think they told
and
any
so
of them. except-
Chase was there to do the show
He was like, this is
because.
gonna be great exposure for me.
Dude, you could literally play that show, and when it airs, you're like number 2 on iTunes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's smart business to do whenever you have a single out. So I think that's what happened. I don't think they told him, which is bullshit.
Yeah, that's
And then she walks up with old boy, and it's just like awkward moment. You
and
know?
he's only singing to those two. It's not like it's a concert. That sucks ass. Think
That's
about
the
that.
worst, dude. He played it off good though, man. He's
Yeah.
a pro. He's my boy. But yeah, they did him dirty on that one.
That would suck. That would suck so bad because he's probably already like, all right, well, I'm on doing the Bachelor.
Yeah. We're already here.
Okay, whatever. And then
Flutist.
that she shows up, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Tough.
I also heard though that they weren't like full blown like always like dating for a super long time, which wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, Chase won. You know,
Yeah.
what's his name? Pilot Pete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one likes him anymore.
Yeah.
So
I don't even know him, but I think he flies for Delta.
Yeah. Well, I love Delta actually.
Delta is a good,
It's a great airline.
first class of.
Free ad for Delta here.
today's podcast brought to you by Delta
And
Airlines.
Pilot Pete.
Yes. Pilot Pete and Delta Airlines. Make sure you join our Comfort Plus.
Comfort Plus does slap.
It does.
Yeah.
So much leg room.
It's right in between first class and regular.
Yeah, it shows that you're almost there, but you're not quite. Gives you a little bit more to work.
It's
for.
humbling. It's like I want to be more comfortable, but I
Right.
don't want to be snobby about it.
Right. Yeah. It shows that guy has money, but he never forget his roots.
Yeah. What are you trying to prove up there in first class anyway?
Yeah. Big deal with your hot meal
Yeah.
and
Hot
your
meal
hand towel.
and your leg room and
Yeah.
your
Your reclining seats.
Honestly, the one thing about first class would be nice is so I can fit my ass in it better. Kind of tight there. Kind of got these hips that I need to deal with, you know. You and Tyler don't got to worry about that.
Oh, you're just fitting there real nice and snug.
Anytime it's like three of us in a, you know, whatever, we're flying, I always make time. I'm like, I cannot sit in the middle seat. You have to sit in the middle seat.
Oh, I can't do the middle seat. I'm with you on that.
So that's the advantage to being your boss is I can tell you where to sit on the
Comfort
airplane.
Plus, those are only 2 seats, so
Yeah,
we're good.
so
I go in, window seat.
your window
Backpack
seat
in the
guy.
middle, act like I'm asleep.
Are you shade up or shade down?
Down.
Guy? Down.
Also depends on when I'm flying. I don't have many pet peeves. I hate airports with a passion.
Really?
Yeah, I hate them.
Well,
They're
so
not
here's
great.
here's my take on airports. If you don't fly a lot, you love airports.
Yes.
If you fly a
yes.
lot, there's a crossing point where because I've kind of reached that where we've been flying a lot more. I'm starting to dread airports more. But
Yeah.
when you first start flying, you're like, this is great. The energy's awesome.
Oh, it's great, dude.
whatever.
Yeah, I can get here in 2 hours, you know. And then hey, here's I completely agree because here's what I think happens. I think you get in the routine where you know what's going on, right? When I fly, I look homeless, right? I'm wearing almost as bare minimum of clothes, like pajama pants, slides, t-shirt, right?
Yep.
I'm trying to get through this shit fast, get to the gate, get a drink, whatever. And then hope to God I took everything out of my backpack so I don't end up on the news. And so we get through the routine, and then you see the guy that is dressed in a 4-piece suit
Yeah.
that acts like his business meeting is the second the plane lands,
Yes.
right? And he's taking his tie off and his belt. My computer. What do I do with my computer? Take it out. And then the person at TSA is looking at you like you decided that they should do that job for a living and they
Yes.
hate your guts for it. You know? And I'm like, I didn't pick this for your career, man. I applied for this.
It's like people at the post office.
It's
Same
just like
deal.
people at post office. Yeah. And so I think like, and like I try to cut it as close as possible. So on the, you know, also I'm like, hey, sir, I'm running late. You know, you just speed your ass up.
Yeah.
I think that's what ends up happening. And then you get in the seat and then you land and then everybody just stands straight up
Yeah. That does suck.
and people are getting bags. Yeah.
There is something cool about being so comfortable with flying that you're never in a rush at the airport. You know, you can tell when someone doesn't fly much because they get there super early.
Yeah.
They're like have to go find the gate right away.
Right.
And then they sit down and then they like sit there and they're like, okay, well, I have an hour and a half before we start boarding. What do I do now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Something cool about like showing up. You're like 45 minutes till my plane leaves. You're going through security, whatever. Tyler gets stressed about flying with
I'm
me.
getting better.
Getting better.
Yep.
Yeah.
Getting them there.
Once you start flying a little more, and you start knowing some airports, man. You just cruise on through.
Yes.
I don't really stress.
One
about
time
much.
though, that did bite me in the ass, where I showed up and I actually had to check a bag, and I was
Oh, shit.
apparently
Yeah.
they have like a limit. I mean, it makes sense, I guess, but it was like we showed up 45 minutes before like the plane left, and they wouldn't check our bag. They're like, there's a cutoff. So I just had to like go on vacation without my checked bag. So basically I just opened up my bag there on the floor
as much as you
and just started shoving in my carry-on as much as I could. And then it's like that point you find out what you really like to take on vacation, because it's like you're cutting out all the stuff that like you put in there. Also, the 15 pairs of underwear, those are all going in. You can't go without those.
You're not a flipper,
No.
an inside outer. You ain't getting 2
Well,
days out of it.
yeah, but
Man, you literally lived the question. If you were on an island, you can only bring 3 things. You're like,
I actually had to do that.
Yeah.
I had to leave my golf clubs behind. The whole like you're going on vacation to play golf,
Right.
and then you have to. Yeah, that sucked. And to rent clubs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're not yours.
Yeah, that. You look like an amateur because there's a big sticker on the side that just says rental.
Rented.
It sucks.
What happened? Airport, man. Airport wouldn't let me bring it.
I showed up really late. Screw
Shut
them.
up late. Yeah, screw them. Yeah, I've definitely pushed the envelope a little bit on arriving to the airport, but it's so irritating, man. It's out of your hands. I think that's another thing.
Yes.
It's out of your hands. If shit goes bad on that plane, or if another plane coming in decides something, whatever, or weather's bad, you're screwed.
We got stuck in Nashville we pulled away and then they decided to delay it. So we sat on the tarmac for like 2 hours or
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh, that's
And then we missed our
worst.
connecting in Chicago.
And the reason why we couldn't fly in is because of wind.
Yeah,
There was too much wind.
I feel like we've came past that. in
Yeah,
technology.
I feel like we should be able to handle a little wind.
Yeah, little win, and
Yeah.
the Wright brothers didn't just make this yesterday. Like, we've been.
We literally put a man on the moon.
Yeah, you can zoom into this office from space.
Yes.
I just feel like wind shouldn't be an issue anymore.
Yeah.
On a 747.
Put some thrusters on the sides of the wings or something to counterbalance the wind.
We got cars that are driving themselves.
Yes.
We can't make an airplane's wings, tilt a little different ways to
Yeah.
get through some turbulence.
Yeah, I'll risk puking on an airplane to be on time.
100%. I've only had one fear one time. I've also hit the comfortable moment or a spot of flying that were like, I don't really think about it. I go in, sit down, fall asleep.
Yep.
Hope we make it to the next place. Don't even think about it.
Yep.
One time we were flying from New York and it was bad wind, bad rain, storm, whatever. And we fell. And they say that like even that one little bump, like you're falling like thousands of feet. Like it's not like a little pothole in the road. Like you're like dropping,
Yep.
So we hit a couple of those, a couple screams. Lady up front puts her feet on the, wall. But what freaked
It's like
me
she's
out,
giving birth.
yeah, I was like, I don't know if we're falling or if she's pregnant, but we need doctors. What freaked me out was when the flight attendants, we hit a drop and all of them sat down on the floor. And I was like, oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Get the,
Oh my God.
I'm talking to Jesus. I'm like, man, that one time in high school, man, I didn't mean that.
Yeah. Oh,
Just in case we meet later, I want to start on a clean slate with you. That's what freaked me out. 'Cause I was like, these people fly all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're scared, we have something to worry about.
Yeah, or it's like nothing. It happened to me once where they're bringing out the cart and you're like, I'm about to get that soda.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
about to get that pop.
The bag of
I'm
pretzels.
about to get those pretzels.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. And then all of a sudden, like some bad turbulence hit, and they like just started wheeling it back. And they sat down and
gotcha.
we're like, oh my god.
So close.
And then all the people in the first class are like, they're like leaning into the aisle so you can see them eating.
Yeah.
And all that.
Yeah, they're
Like,
cheersing their champagne.
Yeah,
you're
like-
stuck back one row back. You're like, I should just risk the other 100.
God
Yeah, the
damn
flight
Comfort
attendant's
Plus.
risking her
Yeah.
life to get them more stuff.
Yeah,
and
but
we're
she
like,
can't come one row back to that Comfort Plus fella,
Yeah.
Pisses me off.
Hey, maybe we should think about first class a little more then.
Y'all can ride it off now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's comfort. You're flying so much. You want to be comfortable.
Yeah. Well, I'm a big, I actually, one of my favorite things now is credit card miles.
Yeah.
So all of our blank shirts that we print on, we buy with the credit card. And so we're just racking up miles
Yeah.
on it. And you kind of like, it's a big flex how many credit card miles you got. you
We've
know?
decided it's the new Bitcoin. Getting air miles from your credit card.
Yeah. Well, what sucks is it's like, oh yeah, you have 200,000 miles, but that means you had to spend $100,000.
Yeah.
So maybe that's kind of not great, Miles.
Yeah. I love how they try to sell that to you. You can fly from Nashville to Chicago for $5 if you spend 75 grand.
Exactly. Yeah, same thing.
And all of us are like, done.
Yeah.
Got it.
And because it's not in dollar amounts, it's
Yeah.
way different. You know?
And you're not seeing the money go.
Yeah.
So you're just swiping that thing. That bitch is hot. You're like, I'm about to fly for free.
literally we bought something and it was like, just get the more expensive one. We'll get 60 more miles out of it. you know?
Yeah, we'll get 60 more. We're getting that free trip to Hawaii. I don't care if it costs us 200 grand. We're going.
Yeah.
We had so my dad uses the absolute shit out of my Southwest miles.
Perks, whatever.
Yeah. So I'll fly him out to shows or fly him out to Nashville for like we're playing somewhere cool or like we're playing like a state I know he'd want to see or whatever. So I'll fly him out. And for the first couple times he was like, I'd call him.
Yep.
And be like, hey, Dad, we're playing Red Rocks in Colorado. We're going to fly you out, ride the bus out, be fun. Got it. Now he ain't even calling me. Like he's calling my tour manager going, hey, man, I want to come out to these shows. Yeah. I'm like, my dad's bypassed me. You know what I mean? And and using all my miles.
He's cut you out. You're not the middleman.
I'm not the middleman.
Yeah.
I have zero power here. And my tour manager's like, hey, man, booked your dad a flight for next week. I look, my flight miles went from like 90,000 to,
Nothing.
nothing. Yeah.
Down to 15,000 miles. And you're like, oh.
He's retired now, so it's easy. And my stepmom works from home. So I think she's like, get him out of here. And she's like, go.
Yeah, she's actually the one that like lined up the.
She's calling your
She
tour
cut me
manager.
out. That's what it is. Yeah, it's not my dad at all. Yeah, he uses the hell out of him.
Yeah, during COVID, she's calling you like, can you just please go back on the roller?
Yeah, that is a true statement. No, she's like, so Jerry, when Ray find out when he's going back on the road, and I'm like, I don't think she asked about me. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't think it wasn't worried for when's he going back. I think she wants your ass out of the house.
Yeah. When can he just leave for a few weeks or a month?
My first show, I think she booked it.
Yeah,
I think she just paid for it to get him out. You know.
Yeah.
She's on the phone with all these venues, like, hey, we can do all these precautions if you can just get him in.
Yeah, if you just
She's
get him and
lining
make
it
sure.
up.
Yeah.
Just making it easy. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on the podcast. This
Dude,
was
thank
fun.
y'all for having me, man. This is awesome.
I think the best podcasts too are just like when everyone's just hanging out.
Yeah,
and
we went
shooting the
from
shit.
reality TV shows to airplanes to your stepmom getting your dad out of the house.
Yeah, I like that. So
It's my brain. That's how it works
Me
all the
too,
time. Yeah.
that's like I also like on the other podcasts that I do. Like I'll just the other person will be talking, and then I'll just like something will pop into my head, and be like just start saying it out loud. She's like, I'm talking. I'm sorry. It just popped into my head.
Mine will be I'll be talking with somebody and I'll think of something, and then I'll come back to the conversation. I'm like, shit,
What did they say?
I've missed so many. I've missed so many words.
No, then he's like, yeah, no way, man, no shit.
Yeah, really. Wow. Yeah. And the whole time I'm just like backtracking.
That's
Yeah.
so funny. That's so funny.
We'll get the fans that'll be like, you remember me? And I'm like good with faces, like, because there's fans that like come to quite a few shows, and you do end up getting to know them. So I was like, yeah, I remember you. What's my name? And at first I was like deer in the headlights. Now I'm just like, I don't know. Like I've met you twice. First off, we ain't done shit in 18 months. So
You're gonna
you know.
start doing flashcards with your top fans on the bus. Like, all right, what's this person's name?
She lives in Fargo. She loves Applebee's. She loves,
Honestly, that's a pretty good bet for anyone in Fargo. Yeah, it's like, all right, you're doing a show in Fargo. You're like, oh, that's Sarah. She loves Applebee's. This is Kevin loves Applebee's.
Make it hard, will you? Make it.
You got a
Literally,
wild
your
card.
only small talk with fans in Fargo is just like, oh, had mozzarella sticks at the Applebee's last night. What'd you have?
that karaoke on Thursdays, man, in Eustis. That was a flex, bro.
Hey, excited for them to bring $1 Long Island's back on happy hour. You know?
You too, man. Everybody had that like spot in high school they hung out, and ours was the Dunkin' Donuts because our friend's dad owned it.
Yep.
And then Applebee's on Thursday nights.
Yes. Yep.
Karaoke.
We would go to Perkins after every single football game.
Perkins.
We would hang out at the Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We ours was a Dunkin' Donuts because you know that they got like throw those donuts where they give them to like elderly homes or whatever homeless
really?
because they can't serve them the next day.
Yeah.
So we just
So you take them instead
get a
of
little high and eat a lot of donuts, in the parking lot. But it was but I don't know why.
So you're telling us your body was built by donuts.
Yeah, no, it was a bad. We gained some weight through the through the 10th grade year, and then
Sophomore.
and then we went
20.
to that sophomore 20 hit hard, man. And then mozzarella
and
sticks
then
at
the Dunkin'
Applebee's,
Donuts
bro.
had a tough time. My buddy's dad had to sell it. So so we had to start hanging out at the juice place.
Yeah. I don't think there's a juice place in Eustis, Florida. I don't think so. If it is, it's fried okra.
Especially because juice places have become a thing till like 5 years ago. All of a sudden, they're like, juices are the best thing ever.
Yeah, and they cost like a mortgage for
Yeah.
16th ounce beet juice.
Even though that like all they put in there is like 1 scoop of powder.
Yeah.
And then it's like that 1 scoop of powder cost them literally 3 cents.
Yeah, but it cost me $15.
Yes.
And I'm like, you know what? The amount of,
But are you going to mix your own juice and do it all at home yourself? No.
no,
So
you're
willing
going to pay
for
that.
it.
You're going to pay that $3 a gallon of gas to go pay for that $15 drink you got. That's what you're going to do, and then feel like you're doing something better, like those 18,000 Busch Lights you shotgun the night before. All of a sudden, this carrot
Cancel it
beet
out.
juice is going to cancel it out. Yeah, I'm like, dude, I've done way too much damage to my body for one juice to do anything.
What I like to do sometimes after like, you go to the lake for the weekend and you eat a bunch of like bars and other stuff. You just don't eat until like 2 p.m. on Monday. And you're like, oh, I'm feeling good now.
I'm good. And then when you do, it's like low carb. Yeah, well, I'm good, man. I've
You have a shake, and then for dinner you have like a cheeseburger.
Yeah,
and you're like
that-
back on your shit.
Mine's night eating, man. Especially on the bus when we're rolling down the road.
yeah.
We've had some drinks, hanging out.
Yeah.
Get up on the bus. It's just pizza and food.
Do you got someone
Yeah.
stocking the shelves in there too on the bus?
Yeah.
That's where it's dangerous. We started having the kitchen downstairs stocked with snacks.
Yeah.
It's a killer.
It's a dangerous thing, man, because you're riding like we rode 20 something hours to get to Minnesota yesterday. You can only watch so much TV, and you're just like, then you start.
You only
TV.
watch Tiger King twice.
I can only watch Tiger
Yeah.
King twice before it starts getting weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People start making fun of me. So like, you start bored eating.
Yeah.
You eat like a whole thing.
All of a sudden, you're wearing satin shirts and chains, and
See, what
you
was
should
this?
get a satin shirt and wear it on stage tonight.
I should. Y'all got a buzzing satin shirt?
Hey, we're working on it. Okay.
All right, get on it. Get on it. I think, I'm grateful that the Tiger King came out. He inspired me
Yeah.
to be myself.
That's how we don't have Michael Ray here today without the Tiger King.
No.
You got to shout out Joe Exotic.
Yeah,
on
Joe
stage.
Exotic, thank you for everything you've given me.
I bet he's a listener of this podcast.
They got to have him in prison, I'm sure.
Honestly, I wouldn't actually be surprised if somehow he
Some
knew about the
random shit.
podcast.
So the guy that bought, or the guy with the bandana and the affliction shirt that was like dating his babysitter, or whatever, I don't know. He's out in Vegas, or he was out in Vegas one time. I met that guy.
Something low.
Yeah, Jeff Lowe.
Jeff
Yeah.
Lowe. Yes.
I think I met him at Stoney's, the bar in Vegas when we were playing.
Is
there
he
one
a
time.
good guy?
I mean, it was in
You're like no.
It didn't seem like a guy was going to buy a tiger ranch, but you think you know somebody after 2 minutes. But they had like baby. They didn't have him there, but I remember like one of the guys saying like, yeah, he has like baby tigers or whatever, and I was like, oh, that's cool.
And then you watch the show and you're like,
show, I
it's
was
kind of
like-
weird.
Jeff, I thought I knew you, man. I thought we had a connection backstage in there.
Yeah.
Man, I'm glad Joe just made me feel like I could be myself. Michael Exotic is going to be my next record, my greatest hits album.
You should do that.
Yeah.
Like just do like 3 songs as Michael Exotic.
Yeah, just
Cover Joe
I should
Exotic.
cover Joe Exotic songs.
You mean
Yeah.
cover the songs he just lip synced and paid somebody else to do?
Time out. No, when he inevitably gets out of jail,
Yeah,
you need to ghostwrite for him. You need to write
I will
songs
go
for him.
Yeah.
for him.
And
Joe
then
Exotic,
just-
you have a spot on my tour when you get out of jail.
You
buddy.
go sing for him too. You
Yeah.
just send him the finished song.
I'll be backstage with the live microphone.
Yeah.
and he'll be on stage. Everybody
Lip
wins.
syncing,
Yeah.
yes.
He's just lip singing, and I'm oh man.
You've got a scripted dialogue for in between each song.
Yeah, I love when he.
How we doing tonight, Fargo? Do you have like a standard set of phrases like that you use at shows?
I try not to, but I probably do. Yeah, I'm always scared to death to say the wrong state or city. I did that one time in Oklahoma.
Just gotta write it on your
Brantley
hand.
on the tour with Brantley, and here's the shittiest part of the whole deal. We were in Kansas City another night, right? We get to Oklahoma City, they give us a Thunder jersey, so
Yeah.
like you do, play to the crowd, know your audience. Last song, boom, throw that Thunder's jersey on. Arena goes nuts.
Yep.
I said, Kansas City, thank y'all for coming out. I can't make that shit up. I had to go to Twitter immediately and make fun of myself before, before anybody else got on to me. Because I was like, I was wearing an Oklahoma City jersey. It was like as clear as day. Thank you, Kansas City.
Oh my
Walked
God.
off. So yeah, I think I've caused myself to have fear of that.
Yeah.
But I've only done it a couple times.
Now, or you got to do what you do when you don't remember someone's name. You just avoid saying the name. Just avoid saying the city. Try that out.
Or just mumble it.
I love being in your guys' city.
I love y'all. I love it. Everybody here. If this place had a name, what would it be?
I want you guys to all just scream out, "You love your city."
Yeah.
Let's hear it. What's
Everybody
your city?
Shout out where you're from. They give me, dude. We have my band will like give me some shit. Sometimes I get like at the end of "I Like It, I Love It." When we use the Tim McGraw song, we would do that sometimes on our sets.
Yeah.
And at the end, he's like, something about the barn. I can't think of what it is. Well, we were watching Billy Madison, and he's like, "Stomp it out with your boot, Ted." And he's like, "Don't tell me what to do, devil woman." So my band was like, $20, you won't say that instead of what's at the end, So I was like, oh, I'll say that, no problem. So at the end of "I Like It, I Love It," I was like, "Don't put it out with your boots, Ted," over the microphone and everything. I love that. My band's just crying, laughing. You could see like the few people in the rows that were like, "What the fuck did he just say?" They just got to play it off. It's like wearing a satin Joe Exotic shirt. People are going to make fun of you till they go, "That guy's, he's owning it."
I know.
It's confidence.
No, he's a genius.
He's a genius. Marketing genius.
You could do the just write it on your hand. Thanks for coming out tonight, Fargo.
It gets sweaty and it kind of rubs off a little bit.
Fargo.
Fargo.
Damn it! You know he reads everything you put on the teleprompter.
Tonight you won't write Fargo on your hand and do that.
I'll just
Fargo. Great.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, it's like you only know the spots that your dad goes to because you only go to like the bigger shows or whatever. So it's like all these other shows. You're like, is my dad here? Shit, I'm not gonna know what this is.
I'm not gonna know. Yeah, Dad comes out and just becomes the life of the party everywhere. So now, like, I'll meet fans.
Well, I feel like people reach a certain age. Like my parents are kind of at the age. I got no kids in the house. Obviously, they're chilling. They're doing their thing. So they'll just like show up randomly here, and my dad will just take a case of beer out of the fridge, and like they just feel like parents just get to a point where they're like, I don't give a fuck.
It's like they revert back, and then all of a sudden we're the adults,
Yeah.
Like, Dad, what are you doing, bro? He's like, fuck off. I don't need you to tell me what to do. My dad's hit that stage too, where he's just like, he's loving life. He's retired. He's doing his thing. So he comes out on the road with us and just gets hammered drunk and hangs out with everybody. And then I end up at meet and greets, and fans are coming up to me, and this has happened more times than I can even count. We partied with your dad the other night, and it's like pictures with my dad and these fans, and I'm like, I'll text him afterwards or call him. I was like, hey, Dad, I saw you in Birmingham, Alabama the other night. He's like, oh, yeah, man, it's crazy. I was like, did you say anything?
Well, and that's in your dad's, like, the first thing that comes out of his mouth, I'm sure, is like, oh, yeah, my son, my son.
Oh, dude, he's the most proud. I'm very fortunate. Me and my dad are best friends. We talk a lot of shit to each other, but he's one of the most proud dads in the world. I always joke about my dad could take a conversation that starts about this pen and turn it to his son's a country singer. It's a talent like you've never seen.
My dad does a little bit, but it's my grandpa. My grandpa's 91 years old.
Oh wow, yeah,
and he's a big golfer, so he still golfs. So he goes to the course. And anyone that's standing around before whatever, there's no lead in. He just goes, you know who the betcha guy is? Like, and actually, I was golfing with him, and I'm standing right like 15 feet away, and he goes up to these people, and they're like, you know who the betcha guy is? And they're like, we actually met him like a couple weeks ago. So yeah, and it was just like so uncomfortable, and I'm standing there, I'm like,
but he's so proud. He's like, yeah, you damn right you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad's like, pen signs ink. Autographs. You gotta tell me my son's a country singer, right?
Do you need an autograph? I can get you one.
That's how my dad is every time. He just turns it into it. But it's the same way. They're just proud, but it is some funny.
Yeah.
Makes for some funny moments though.
Oh yeah.
Or my dad watches the charts.
Oh.
And then somebody taught him how to read the charts. So he's like, hey.
That was your stepmom.
The hell they do? Yeah. She's trying to get him out of the house.
Any hobby.
Work for Warner. Yeah. He's my new radio rep. Hey, White, you moved any? I'm like, what? Saw you're 26 on the charts today. I'm like, I didn't even know that. Like, I'm finding it out from my dad, but it's cool.
Is there like secret charts that you got to read?
No, like Media Base or Billboard, like the number, like when you have a song out, it's like top 40, top 30, top 20. Yeah, so those are like
you got to learn to read it though.
Well, there's like points because like some radio stations are bigger, they have a bigger reach, bigger audience, so they have like them playing your song has more weight than like maybe a small town radio station. So like a Dallas radio station has massive reach, and if you have a small town somewhere, out west or whatever, where there's small radio stations, they might not pull as much points. So like a spin from Dallas could jump you, could help you move. But yeah, my dad's learned how to.
You say a spin from Dallas?
Like a radio spin.
That's like the cool way of saying just what we would all just say. You get played in Dallas.
I heard you on the radio.
Yeah, if you're in the industry, it's I got a spin in Dallas.
It's lingo.
It's like cool lingo.
Yeah, we call them clicks around here.
Hey, how many spins we get on the podcast this week? I'm gonna start saying that.
We should.
Yeah,
seems legit.
Yeah,
it does sound legit.
Yeah, and then people got to ask you.
We get our silk shirts.
Yeah, we should all get silk You Betcha shirts. I'll go in on this.
What color? I'm thinking maybe purple.
Yeah, like a midnight purple, real dark.
Oh yeah, exotic.
Maybe maybe
some real exotic,
some white exotic, pearl snap buttons.
Yes, maybe a wolf.
Are you a pearl snap guy on stage? You ever wear pearl snaps?
I used to. Yeah, I used to. Back when the flannel or the button up untucked was popular.
Yeah, is it coming back?
I think we should bring it back.
It's just a t-shirt now, the move? Is that like the...
I think so, because I saw some artists that were like, used to dress up like real, real nice for shows.
Yep.
Now it just look like it's
They're
just
just
t-shirt and
chilling.
jeans.
They're chilling
Yeah.
at
So
the
I think
bar.
that's which
Yeah.
I'm down for that. I'm completely.
Yeah,
cool
well,
with
we
that.
were talking to Fillmore about, you know, like his man bun and all
Yeah.
that stuff, talking trends of what's in and out, you know. And we were talking about the cowboy hat, and that the cowboy hat's out right now, and it's just ball caps is the way to go.
Yeah, I think the ball cap thing's been around for a little while. I think if you're like a Randall King or Cody Johnson,
It's like you really got to authentically
Like,
be
they're-
like a country dude who
like Cody
was
Johnson used to rodeo.
Yeah, like ranching and shit. Growing up, all that.
Randall King, like he's from, I believe he's from Texas as well. Like that's his culture. I don't know much if he rodeoed or anything, but like he comes from that. You know, so I think now like the cowboy hat thing is like it went through if you're a country singer, you got to wear a cowboy hat.
Yes.
To now like if you're wearing the cowboy hat, like you're probably legit cowboy.
Yes.
You know, like not so much as a fashion thing anymore.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I went through the cowboy hat stage.
Yeah. Was it like
rocked it.
the party cowboy hat, or was it like an authentic, true cowboy hat? You know what I mean by the difference between the two cowboy hats,
There's also the Kenny Chesney straw
like
cowboy
curled
hat.
a little bit.
Oh yeah, no,
Super
mine
true.
was legit. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
it was a real deal. Yeah, yeah, it was a real thing. Straw, or not straw, but the white. I don't know what you kind of like they were canvas type
like-
feel. I don't know what you
It's
call
like
it, but
almost carpet leather feel.
Yeah.
I don't know what to call it.
then Tim McGraw came out during that with his black cowboy hats,
Wasn't it leather or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
And I got one, and I didn't look anything like Tim McGraw. Nothing at all.
I was in some tiny town in Wyoming on a way to a wedding, and I was like, I gotta get a cowboy hat. Everyone's wearing them.
Yeah.
So I got this black leather one, and I ended up looking like the reporter from Tiger King. And
No, and he sent me a picture. I'm like, dude, you bought like an Australian Outback hat. You didn't buy a cowboy
that's
hat.
what it said on the inside of the thing. It's Australian Outback hat.
I know.
Yeah.
You didn't buy a cowboy hat.
Well, I was trying to go for the Django Unchained look, like that kind of black hat. Did not work for me.
I did buy a cowboy hat in Montana that I like to bring out at the lake once in a while.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun.
I think that's became an in thing. The cowboy hat at the lake, cowboy hat at the. I've noticed that cowboy hats are now popping up in the hip hop world more.
Oh, yeah.
like it's like cowboy hats are popping up more in the hip hop world than they are in country music.
Yeah, I would agree with
It became like a fashion thing now.
Well, I saw Tenpenny was wearing the jorts and the New Balance on stage, and I was like, fuck yeah.
Tim Finney rolls on his own road, bro. Like that's why I love that guy. Like he
Marches to
doesn't
his own
give
beat.
a shit in the best way possible. Like he's one of the best, man. I love that guy and sings his ass off.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
When we met up with him, he sang some heavy metal for us.
On an acoustic guitar.
Did he really?
Yeah. Like, wake the fuck up. Just fucking super loud.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that was funny.
That dude, he's one of the best, man. I love that guy. But yeah, he's the only dude. Like I tried to wear shorts one time on stage, and then I saw the.
Well, are you self-conscious about the calves? Is that what it
I just
is?
don't. I just my latitude doesn't allow me
You're
to
not
wear
tall
shorts.
enough.
No, I'm not tall enough to wear shorts on stage. So I just look like the kid that's going to Disney. You know, just happen to pop on stage,
Just wearing a
sing a couple
backpack.
songs. Yeah, I'm like, I look ridiculous. Why don't y'all tell me
Because
this?
some people I know, they're like, my calves just are kind of skinny. I don't like it, so
Yeah.
I don't wear shorts. But for you, it's the you don't have long
The fact I
enough
just
legs.
look shorter than I am.
Yeah.
And then you got guys like Fillmore wearing. He rocks them. He's my height.
Yeah.
Tenpenny just doesn't give a shit, so that makes him. You know what I mean? Like you just
Yeah.
look at Tenpenny, you're like, all right, that's cool. Sam Hunt could wear a cardboard box, and I think people, it would, next
He
thing
makes
you know,
it look cool.
cardboard boxes would sales would go through the roof.
Yeah.
I wear shorts. They're like, oh, where's this
He
dad?
could wear the Kanye music video where they have like the huge.
The blocky mattress thing he was wearing.
Sam Hunt could wear that on
Yeah.
stage, and people
I'll-
are like, "That's cool."
Yeah, people be ordering on Amazon in the front row. A bunch of dudes because their girlfriends are like, "Oh my god!" It's like, "Shit, I gotta buy. I just bought the long tee." You know?
Yeah, a little like the rounded. bottom
Yeah,
on the-
yeah. I just bought the man dress. Now you
Yeah.
got me wearing this box.
Those look like moo-moos, like grandma would wear to bed.
Yeah, like the front desk
Like
lady in your
ni-
elementary
like a-
school.
like
Yeah.
a nightie.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, but you wear pants underneath it, so
Yep.
it makes it stylish.
yeah, it looks cool.
Again, my latitude doesn't allow me to wear those either. For normal
Maybe
size
go
shirts.
crop top. Try that
Ooh,
out.
maybe that's
Yeah.
my thing.
We sell them, so
You
if
look
you need
like
one.
Spike on Little Giants.
Giants, yeah.
Bring back the Spike look.
So- when you're hot to trot, you still got to squat.
Walk out there with a refrigerator on your back.
Spike don't care. Yes. Well, I use them for acid indigestion. Today's
The annexation of Puerto Rico.
The annexation of Puerto Rico. Icebox, man.
Yeah.
I wonder what Icebox doing now.
I don't know. Probably listen to this podcast.
Yeah. Her and Joe Exotic.
Her and Joe Exotic.
Yeah.
She in person too.
Icebox, if you're listening, we'll
Yeah,
take you
we're
on the
big
podcast
fans.
any day of the week.
You can come to any show.
I'll cancel any future plans with Michael to have the Icebox on the podcast.
And I'll understand.
Sorry.
You know? Dude, what a classic movie. That was one of my favorite movies back then.
It was great. Hey, the best was when they finally gained a yard, and then it was we gained a yard.
Oh yeah. The kid
Sometimes
shows
life
up
feels
and
like
bubble
that.
wrap.
Yeah, sometimes life feels like that. You're like, nothing's going right, and then just like the tiniest thing goes right, and you're like, we gained a yard.
That's the music business.
Yeah.
In a whole, you work, you're sweating, and finally the one thing that keeps you going is like, hey, you jumped one spot. You're like, hell yeah.
We gained a yard.
We gained a yard, baby. We gained a yard.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. That's kind of how the internet works too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all right, guys. Well, thanks for coming on.
Dude, thanks for having me, man.
We're gonna probably go get another beer. We're dry.
Yeah.
And
Anything coming up you want to plug? Let the listeners
Yeah.
know.
The EP's coming out soon. I believe we're going to be making an announcement here in the next couple of weeks. I went back in and we wrote a song. I wrote a song with my buddies Taylor Phillips and Ashley Gorley. The EP was technically done, but then we wrote this and I was like, I think this really needs to be on it. So we went back in, cut that, pushed the date back a little bit, but it's coming up soon. So we'll be announcing that soon. And we got a tour coming up that we'll be announcing as soon as we get all the dates going. But right now, just been back out on the road and we got a new song coming out. We're releasing songs once a month until the EP comes out. So we got another song
Sweet.
coming out here in a couple weeks called Just the Way I Am. And music video I shot in my hometown. So
that's
kind of
awesome.
about it. Yeah, man.
Florida.
Florida.
So like a bunch of crazy shit in the video.
Yeah, we're catching gators naked.
catching gators.
Yeah.
People wearing like wings
In
and
the
shit.
Walmart parking lot.
Walmart parking lot.
Yeah.
Guy in the corner is like all cracked out.
Yeah, we're noodling for catfish and the
In the retaining ponds.
retaining ponds and
Well, and to close it out, congrats on the success with Whiskey and Rain too, because last time I think you were on, that's when you were
Yeah.
debuting.
yeah, man.
Right?
Yeah, we're
So-
sitting at 25 right now.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
it's been good, man.
So go listen to Whiskey and Rain.
Come
Let's
on.
get it going higher here.
Yeah.
So Michael's dad can watch it.
Yeah,
Watch it rise
Let's
the
give
charts.
Michael's dad something to do.
Yeah,
this
yeah,
week,
yeah.
Okay.
My dad's building bars right now, so give him something to do. Give him something to watch.
There we go.
Make him proud of his boy.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks for tuning in to episode
127.
127 of You Betcha Radio podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. We had a great time with Michael, mostly because Ryan wasn't sitting in the chair.
I was absent. Yes.
No, Ryan, we love you,
I hope so.
but
Yeah, where the hell were you?
I didn't get invited.
Were you even here?
I didn't get invited to the interview.
Hey, run that by my manager, Tyler. That's what's had nothing to do with me.
You're gonna have to contact my assistant and then
Okay.
try and get to me.
Just
somehow.
send me down the ladder.
Okay.
I'll
right.
contact whoever I need to.
Speaking of ladders, guys, let's climb up out of this podcast. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Miles, the You Betcha guy. May your ranch always be runny, your bush lattes forever be cold. Cheers, Ryan. Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Yeah.